Burt Alvord, born September 11th, 1867, Palmas County, California, died after 1910, nationality American, occupations W. Sheriff outlaw, criminal charge armed robbery. Albert W. Alford was born to Charles E. Alford and his wife Lucy on September 11th, 1867, in Palmas County, California. His father, a native of New York, worked as a prosecutor and mechanic for mining companies, but eventually came to hold public offices such as constable and justice of the peace in several of the places that the family lived. The family moved frequently throughout Bert's childhood, following the mining business from Boomtown to Boomtown in 1879. The family settled in Pima County, Arizona territory, but soon moved to Tombstone in Cochise County. Alfred's Bert's education was informal, but he likely learned much from his father's cases about local disputes. He also spent time working at the OK Corral, where he got to know the townspeople very well. Claims that Bert witnessed the famous gunfight at the OK Corral in 1881 are unsubstantiated, though the banditry and lawlessness for which Tombstone was famous would certainly have made the impression on the young Bert. Despite Bert's reputation for frequenting saloons and his participation in several bar altercations, Cochise County Sheriff John Hort Slaughter recruited Bert as a deputy in 1886, the same year Bert's mother died. Bert served primarily as the muscle behind Slaughter's operation. He made several decisions which revealed his lack of experience in finance and law enforcement. He was reportedly not noble tempered, far-seeing, or unselfish. He did assist Slaughter in capturing or killing several rustlers and other outlaws between 1886 and 1889, but his reputation suffered when his alcoholism became increasingly apparent. Burt continued to frequent saloons and eventually began to associate with gamblers and suspected outlaws. When Slaughter reprimanded him, he quit. Burt's next worked as a lawman in several towns in 1890s, including Fairbanks, Arizona, and Pierce, Arizona. Burt in 1896, Burt moved to Cochise County, where he married Lola Ocha, bought a ranch, and settled down. Once again, he became a sheriff's deputy. 2 years later, his father died. In late December 1899, Burt suddenly and inexplicably resigned his post of deputy sheriff. Almost immediately after turning in his badge, Burt left his wife and turned to crime. He formed a gang with outlaws Billy Stills, Billy Dowling, and Three Finger Jack Dunlop, men he had once pursued during his career as a law officer. Burt's gang committed several armed robberies in Cochise County, where he and Stills were both captured. Somehow they managed to escape. On February 15, 1900, Dunlop was killed by lawman Jeff Milton during a bungled train robbery in Fairbanks, Arizona. The gang recruit Bravo 1 was wounded. Later that year, Burt was again captured and taken to Tombstone. Billy Stills rode to Tombstone and wounded the deputy on duty, allowing Burt and 24 other prisoners to escape. In 1902, Burt assigned Arizona Rangers Captain Burton C. Mossman in capturing the notorious Mexican bandit Augustine Chachon. In exchange for a share of the reward money and a reduced sentence, when Chachon was convicted of unaliving and hanged at Solomonville, Burt decided it was wiser not to surrender after all. Burt and Stiles insisted return to crime. Now pursued by the Arizona Rangers, they were captured in December 1903, but again managed to escape. Burt even made a crude attempt at faking their deaths, using the bodies of two unknown Mexicans. Burt sent the bodies to Tombstone, claiming they were himself and Styles. However, an examination quickly showed the dead men were not the two gringos. The irritated Arizona Rangers finally pursued the outlaws across the border into Mexico, trapping them near Naco in February 1904. The outlaws resisted but surrendered after having both been wounded. Burt spent 2 years in Yuma Territorial Prison. Following his release, he announced his departure by ship to start anew in Central America. He was last seen in 1910, working as a Panama Canal employee. Following this, Burt's fate is unknown. Why do they have him as disappeared if he didn't disappear? He just left on his own accord.